Hey, we are at episode 11 of the New York City Wrestling Series. Our first show that we are small, and with that comes new challenges. Our roster had to grow by four. You will see those new people tonight. Our production values are below our rivals, where CZCW and RIPW are just kind of um, too much. And so we're curious to see how that impacts our show ratings. And I went ahead and we're going to go and change ticket pricing to very cheap instead of free, where right now we're not getting any popularity. So when we are getting very cheap, we'll be getting about an extra 10K a month. So instead of worrying about popularity right now, I went for long term for finance, and I think this is going to help build our bank because we're only at 88,000. So let's go ahead here, make sure I'm glad I checked that, and then let's get to. So we start off the show pretty hot, where you have Dean Daniels and Freedom Eagle versus Tennessee William and Andrew Harper. Um, Almost like another throwaway of Dean Daniels losing to Tennessee William, Andrew Harper, a mixture of that pair to get them going, get Freedom Eagle involved in the show. Um, Pretty good match. Probably one of our better matches, our best opener ever, and pretty happy with that. Following that, we just had the boys from Yukon randomly attacking Luca Sacramento backstage to get them involved, to kind of show they're just meeting everybody, not just faces. They're meeting heels as well. Still trying to find my footing with them. Howlin' Mad Mort is the standout of the group, but I like tag team wrestling, and I hope to stick with it. Following that, we had Joanne Rodriguez announcing that New York City Wrestling is now going to have women's wrestling involved, where you see Fuyoko Higa, Concepcion Gomez, Olivia Diamond, and then Miss Tennessee, aka Black Diamond. Um, Very excited about this, and I will explain it more after I end. The very next match, we had the DeMio family versus Riley McManus and LA Stars. Riley McManus gets some backup from the LA Stars, and the good guys come out on top. Maybe this is a theme for tonight. Who's to say? You will see in the main event. But Riley McManus, the LA Stars, get a win over again the DeMio family for this first time. The DeMio family took a pretty big L, and Machine Gun Marino took the pin over Riley McManus after a slingshot. Very happy with this. Enjoying the Demio family, and it gets Ryan McManus some of his heat back. Now, still has some problems with Brutus and Supermassive Destroyer. Just curious to see how that goes. Following that, we had Hawkeye Calhoun picking up another W. This is his third big win in a row, this time versus Richie Riggins. And he's starting to catch up with the fans as well, so very happy with that. Then we had Tennessee William introduce Miss Tennessee, aka Black Diamond. It's a good way. She is really good on the mic. He's really good on the mic. He has that hot catchphrase. Makes sense to me. And this is showing integration between the divisions. Our women's division is only 4 people right now, and our men's division's 18. And the women's division is going to stick around till at least, I'm thinking, December 2021 of this group. Now, this is going to be a long-term save. I'm starting to come and realize where it's going to take a while to get there, but I'm very excited to see how our challenges stick up. And then maybe I'm curious to see what kind of hiring rules we can have for the women. I didn't do any size thing because that just didn't feel right. Maybe there's like a certain star quality or a certain skill they have to get. And I know we're New York City Wrestling, but we're trying to end up like running it all. We want to be, we're the poor USPW right now. We want to take over USPW in the long term. So that's the goal, and I think this is the first step towards realizing that goal in a big way of implementing women's wrestling. Following that, we had Miss Tennessee actually losing to Olivia Diamond. Olivia Diamond is one of our underdogs. She is the underdog babyface of the quadruplet group, and this is the first match of the New York City Wrestling's Women's Championship Tournament. I put 2020 in there so we can always remember the year. And then in regards to that, pretty good large boost of charisma during match and angles. Always needed 23 rating. That's fine. It's going to take some time to get the women's division under our footing. But then December, we have to cut the three lowest momentum uh, people, not including the women, on the roster. So do we bring in another girl who's good, or do we bring in all men? It's a different dynamic. Then following that, and the true reason I probably brought in women's wrestling, we had Fuyoko Higa defeating Concepcion Gomez and advancing the New York City Wrestling Women's Championship Tournament. And you can see Fuyoko Higa, no popularity in the tri-state area in U.S., put up 36 rating. They rolled great chemistry. That's good. So we'll probably be seeing a variation of this match. Now with the roster of four, um, the women are going to be like a special attraction to a degree. Because I'm not going to just have Fuyuka Higa versus Conception, Gomez, November, December, January, then Miss Tennessee, February, March, April. I'm not going to be able to do that. So maybe they'll end like every other week. I'm thinking of creating an alliance title with the COT, since we are still in COT and I haven't used them yet, because I don't know how I want to use it. Thinking creating a women's division so we and CZCW can implement it. We'll talk more at that at the end. And then we had Larry Vesey, the New York City Wrestling owner, come down and announce nobody will be at ringside of our main event. And so the Mia family is barred from ringside, and it is a cage match where we have Mass Stranger defeating Sal DiMio in the cage, winning the New York City Wrestling Empire title and making his final defense of the Tri-State Regional title. Now, this is a unification match because with us implementing the women's title, don't feel the need for a men's mid-card title at this point. We can always bring it back down the line because eventually the New York City Wrestling Empire title is going to turn to a heavyweight world title. And so we can bring back like the tri-state regional or even empire title as a like a mid card. But for now, I think it's only one men's champion, one women's champion, or one women's alliance champion. And just for that, two of our biggest pushes rolled great chemistry, not intentional. I did not know that. Very excited about it, and really good match. I thought it was Sadamia's time. Looking at the roster of who's left, um, we could have maybe had him face the LA Stars. We could have had him face Dean Daniels, but that doesn't make sense. The new people we bring in after the let go of the three lowest as well. But I thought it's time for a title change here to kind of mix it up, and it makes sense. But I think it's also important not to just have 8 year or eight what's it called 8 year like title runs. So we're gonna see that come to fruition. Um, Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Our production levels are terrible compared to our rivals, so it definitely did ding us a little bit. But very good show across the board. I think the women's wrestling, I targeted women who weren't great and weren't that over right away. Um, Baby steps. So at the end here, let's go ahead. We're gonna give shout out to Foyoka for having a great performance. We're gonna give a shout out to Mash Stranger and to not Tennessee William, to Saldamia, who I haven't actually gave him only twice, 3 times maybe, out of the 10, and he's been a mainstay for us since day one. But very excited to see what changes here with our popularity, what kind of finance difference we should see, because like I said, this is going to be more of a financial gain while we build our roster and build our, I guess, our just core values of what New York City Wrestling is. Now, once it loads here, we will take a look at the women's division. I will go over it why. Okay, no mail. So right now, the big news in the wrestling world is USPW, not USPW, J Cord, the TCW World Heavyweight Champion, is up for grabs, and we have SWF, USPW, and TCW all going after him. USPW would be my bet as the one who ends up taking him. Um, If we look at worker signings, they are signing up everybody. I wonder if it shows. So Cameron Vesey, Rogue, Adam Smasher. I already showed Cameron Vesey. Rock God Alvarez, Al Lyon, Elion, Sean McFly. They are just, whew, it's going to be a force, but honestly, I do want to end up taking them down and being a top company. Let's see here where they're at. It's going to take a long time because as you can see, we are getting there. But let's check while we're here. So 25,000. So third pop is 38 in Puerto Rico with our merchandise is $10 per popularity point, so it's about 3,800. So it'll take 6 months to get our money back. Uh, but again, long term and for the popularity, we have nothing in Puerto Rico, so I think it makes sense. And maybe we can get like some sort of Puerto Rican TV and yeah, New York City, Puerto Rico. We'll figure it out. Now, in regards to the women's division, I did say I was concerned about burnout with it, but when I look at the other companies, I mean, uh, just men's wrestling. Okay, you have a women's division, just men, just men, just men, all women, just men, just men, just men, just men, just men, integrated. There isn't a company besides USPW has a women's division. Now, Coastal Zone does have women integrated, but that's not really in my interest, and I think it makes sense in regards to being different because we want New York City wrestling to be different than a Pittsburgh Steel to MAW. So it's part of the reason, and to boost our roster pool of potential signees down the line. Overall, very happy with that, with this show. And let's see here. Let's go ahead. We can now retire that title where we have our New York City Wrestling Empire Champion, where the prestige didn't go up or down, but Mass Stranger takes down Mia. Brutus Milano had a pretty decent reign as well. Um, yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely go through it and go from there and see how this product develops. I am trying to not just go ahead and hotshot, bring in a bunch of people. Now next month, we do have to bring in 3 people. And for example here, so Christy Higgins is available. Um, she is not that popular, but she's popular enough where it'll make sense. It'll help. But I didn't want to bring her because long term, maybe I want to bring her then. And then in regards to the men's side, we will have to look and see who we can bring in down the line. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.